Welcome back, guys. We're going to be talking about challenges and what comes with challenges. Ain't that right?
Yep. And this was important because we're going through grading at the moment.
Yeah, correct. So, Aisha's son does junior MMA with us, and they're currently going through grading. So, we're actually talking about this because we're running through a, let's say, a mock grading class, getting the kids ready for their grading session. And there was a very hard aspect in it. And basically, it's the most challenging aspect. They've got to kick a break board and break the break board. Okay, so they could do everything else that they to a T, and get to the end of a 45-minute grading session and not rise to the challenge, basically, in a way.
Well, it scares them.
It scares them. It's intimidating.
Yeah.
It can hurt their foot. And one of the coaches said, "You're gonna kick this thing, even if your toes break. Your job is to break this board
and pass the grading.
And pass the grading." And look, some people might think that's a bit too harsh for kids, but I spoke to Aisha quickly through the fence, and she's like, "No, man, that's a challenge.
Yeah.
This needs to be done. It's martial arts. They need to be challenged." And I straight away could accept what Aisha meant by it, because what I've learned...
Well, it's in context, right? You have to have a fear of physical pain in order to pass your grading, which is to do with a physical aspect in that sport.
Yeah.
You have to. That goes with the territory. If there is no pain, physical pain or fear of physical pain, doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me. How you can pass without either the fear and not feeling the pain because you passed and you did the thing, or you felt the pain and then you ended up passing. Both make sense to me. Yeah.
And you know what we believe in as well is without challenge, there's no growth.
No.
And through hardship
and no value.
challenging times.
And no value in that.
That's right. So too many people actually, I think, come up in life, come across challenges.
Yep.
And like what you said, they tend to they tend to shy away from it, right? Because they're not seeing past what's in front of them.
They get stuck.
They don't see the value in overcoming that and becoming and growing as a person, leveling up as a person, right? So
and I just want to say, right, this is not an innate, inbuilt kind of thing as well. I was a very timid kid. I was very scared, and when I came to Australia, I was so shy and reserved and so quiet. It was something that I had to practice whenever I faced. And look, the great thing is it has to be a balance between how much involvement your parents, give in your life, so that they're not saving you from everything that's happening. Also being supportive, but allowing you to go through certain things, right? Because I feel like now that balance is fucked up. Right? I know that because my parents couldn't save me every time, I had to fucking face shit that was really scary, whether it's been bullying, whether it's been fighting at school, right? But it's every day going through that, it actually cultivated that thing in me, which meant I feel uncomfortable, I face it, I go through it, and then I've grown from it. And then I don't have fear of that anymore. I know what it feels like. It's okay. It's something I'm used to, and then something else will come up.
It's
and the more you practice,
familiar, right?
It's familiar, and it's through practice. It's not because people are born fucking tough. That's bullshit, bro.
We're born the same.
Yeah, we're born the same, right? And we all have fears. Some people can have it through other aspects of life, right? But it's about cultivating that practice of showing up all the time. The moment you got to think about, I always say this, Rava. I mean, you said to Roma too. Something happens, and you don't stand up for yourself, or you don't try your best, right? You've created that block. It's not that I'm not telling you not to fail. No. It's like, how did you show up over and over again? Because say that kid kicked and broke the toe, and then still didn't kick the board broken, but fucking broke the toe, that's still a win, right? Because the mindset was, and I'm sure the coach would have stopped it, but the mindset won. Do you get what I'm saying? You can't be disheartened because the effort was there. He didn't stop.
Yeah, it's
Right?
not so much about the task, it's more about what's going to come out of
Yes.
the growth.
Yes.
Right? The
Yes.
growth side of things.
Yes.
The benefit that's there.
And seriously, the kids, the board is not that, it's relatable to the kids. So we also know it's a very safe, secure environment for them to express a little bit of challenge and growth, right? And I think that's why it's so important, because, if we don't do these things as children and sort of like get them to face these things, imagine that kid when he's 30 or she's 30.
Yeah, because when he's 5, it's a breakboard in a controlled environment.
Yes.
When he's 30, it's
not.
a lot more than that. You're right.
And I think, that comes to emotional stuff, comes to mindset stuff, comes to self-belief stuff. Every time you put up that, oh, this is so hard, so I'm not going to try, or I'm not going to do it. All right, you are communicating that to each and every cell in your body that I quit. I don't even try.
Yeah, the body listens to the mind. That's
Body
one thing that
listens.
we're all certain on now as well.
Mm-hmm.
And like what you said, when you're a kid, when you're born, no one's born with more resilience than the other person.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No.
Or more, whatever, confidence. That doesn't exist yet.
Yeah, exactly.
It all develops through habits, and teachings,
yes.
and so forth.
Repeating behaviors.
Repeating behaviors.
Yep.
And you know what? When we talk about challenges are different for the kid, to the teenager, to the adult. Going to school, a challenge could be if you get bullied and picked on. That's a very big challenge as a kid.
Yeah.
And the advice would be the same thing: rise, and it's how you show up. If you show up and do nothing about it, day in, day out.
And please, we're not saying that the supportive network is not around that, because you got, like, say if a kid was getting bullied, I'm not talking about that, like just show up, no, because there should be supportive parents, the school should be supportive, community should be supportive, that parents of both sides should be supportive. I'm talking about let it occur within a supportive space, right? So it wasn't that my parents weren't there, they were home, they were very stable, they were very secure, but I had to still show up knowing that I had some sort of stability still, I had protection, right? This is a very good mock environment for kids in a martial arts setup where, yes, the coaches know very well their capacity, right? But what limits them is the mind. And so, it's a very, very good and clever setup for kids to actually practice it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's not saying you just ruthlessly go out and be
No.
silly and reckless and just show up and get bashed all the time.
No.
And no, we're not talking about that. The environment setup is perfect. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. And the main thing, I think, the most important thing that it teaches them as well is, at the end of the day, you have to do something towards your challenge, or to face your challenges, right? And there's not 20 options, there's only 2 options.
Yeah.
When it comes to challenges, I believe. Option 1 and option 2.
Yeah.
Either
You do it?
right there and then,
Yeah.
deal with it, or turn away from it, and majority of the time that challenge has just become stronger and bigger. And because we're talking about growth always will exist there when it comes to challenges. But who's going to grow? You or the challenge?
Exactly.
And I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
By you deciding then and there to not rise to the challenge, you have given that challenge that was in front of you.
And guess what? That will keep showing up in
and
all different ways.
And in all different ways. And the best way, myself being a personal trainer, do you know what's a challenge for a lot of my clients? Healthy eating.
Yeah.
That's a challenge.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
And that's something, the more they put off and go, next week.
Yeah.
I'll do it after this weekend.
Yeah.
That gets harder and harder.
Yeah, 100%.
That challenge gets more powerful, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So,
the cravings get bigger. The habits get bigger. The body starts shutting down.
So I think it's very important to start instilling that in kids from a young age.
Yes.
Condition that in kids.
When we grew up, life and circumstances sort of helped in us being in those situations. Right now, there's so much comfort, every corner of the planet, right? Like I remember just having to go to if I wanted a ice cream, I'd have to get on my bike, right down to the local milk bar, pay the man some money, come back, then have my ice cream. Right now, mate, you can Uber Eats everything. My son can sit on my phone and order it himself. Not that he does, but he can. The option is there. Right? They don't even exchange money now, so they don't even interact with people. Look, a lot of that discomfort at the moment, what challenges people too, is just even having communication with another person, because everything is so like on your device. People struggle to make new friends. There's
you know what we might end up seeing?
50,000 people out there.
End up seeing a trend of social anxiety coming on.
And it is. It's not good. It's there.
Yeah.
Like people are scared of like talking, saying hello, introducing themselves.
Right. Yeah.
You know, starting something else, or meeting a new person, or expressing who they are. Like, dude, it shows up in so many aspects of life. If you don't overcome something that's challenging now, you have just created a pattern to replay that in so many other areas of your life. Not just kicking a board. Physical pain is different, but mate, emotional pain. You know, you got mental stuff, you got psychological stuff. So much. Do you know what I mean? Like it shows up in so many ways. And it's so important that as parents we become aware and healthily push our little kids towards facing and feeling a bit of discomfort and then seeing them go forward.
You know what I love to see? You know, like a lot of kids as well are stuck to PlayStations all day.
Yeah.
Got these headsets all
Yeah.
day. And I hear a lot of parents say, mate, they won't get off the computer.
Yeah.
They won't play sport.
Yeah.
They won't come out of their room.
Yeah.
I would love to see these kids go on a hike, go out in the bush, go somewhere where you've got no option. You need to face your challenge. That's it. Go out there, be challenged.
Yeah.
Climb that hill.
Now,
do something
do you know what?
different.
Boredom is a challenge now. Kids don't want to be bored.
Yeah, you're
They
right.
don't know how to sit still and be bored. I'm like, dude, I used to be bored all my life when I was a kid. I'm like, okay, and then I would find a worm to friggin' play with because I was bored. Yeah. Now, 5 seconds, if a kid will say, I'm bored. And they come to the device.
Like visiting someone's house, like a family friend or something, all the oldest
you have to
talking.
sit there and he's just has to sit
there.
there.
Tell us nothing. That's how I actually found Tupac.
Do you
know how I found that? I went to my grandparents' house. Funny story, they just came from Syria.
Yeah.
They just came from Syria at the time, and I was maybe 8 years old or something.
Yeah.
My uncle at the time, my youngest uncle was 19, I think he was.
Yeah.
And they lived in this house, and I could barely speak Arabic.
Yeah.
So what did I do? So I used to find this room, like a big living room, had a stereo.
Yeah.
My uncle bought a stereo, so I'm like, what's this? Playing, press buttons, this music started.
Yeah.
And I sat on the couch and I was listening to Tupac.
Yeah, there
He
you
had
go.
a Tupac CD. I was like 8 or 9 years old, I think, and I was like, I like this.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But otherwise, it was just, you have to find ways to you know, entertain yourself.
Yeah. And that's when you start daydreaming
and cry and collapse and chuck tantrums. No, hell no. We knew what our life was worth. No way. You know, no way. No. We just sat there quiet.
Yeah, and sucked it up.
Yeah, we sucked it up and you know, we're innovative in a way.
It is, man. We had creation. We used to daydream. We used to think about stuff we would do. We would feel our emotions and we would just ponder even. But now, man, it's like almost parents feel guilty if their kids are fucking bored. Are you crazy? You're taking away a massive part of their growth.
Or if their kids chuck a tantrum because you took away a luxury.
Bad luck, sorry,
Bad
brother.
luck. 10 minutes later,
see you later.
They'll fall asleep from being so exhausted.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I that's what I think. I think as parents too, let's remember what grew us too. It wasn't always comfort, hey. It was challenges. It was
growth.
It was situations and circumstances, people that challenged us, man. You know. And I think we have to reintroduce those things in our kids' life, even in our own life. Let's step outside of our little bubble and let's. How else do you grow, man? Like imagine being that all day, every day, and it's like a stagnant life. I think let's do that. I think it's a very, very important time in our life
100%.
to
go out there with your kids. Do it as a family.
Yeah.
Go somewhere you've never been before.
Yeah.
Do something you guys have never done before.
So true, man. And yeah, what a great way to fucking start that process. Do it as a family.
Do it as a family on the weekend. Go for a drive
Yeah.
to a park somewhere you've never been, a national
Do
park.
something as a parent that your kids know that you're actually a little bit scared of and nervous of,
Yeah.
and fucking do it.
And bring them along for it.
Yeah, and say, look, man, this is something. Like some people don't know how to swim. Fucking learn to swim when you're an adult. Like face something, and then your kids will be like, oh my god, I'm gonna start doing something too. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah. Cool.
Awesome.
All right, round this one up.
All right, guys. So challenges are actually things that can be beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, very beneficial. So don't shy away from your challenges. Try to challenge yourself day in, day out for self-growth.
Yeah, and the more challenging something is, the more value you have towards that. So, you know, if these kids were given those belts without earning them, trust me, they wouldn't value them the way they do.
No, that's right.
So, anyway, till next time, do subscribe, share, comment, and please tell your family and
Spread
friends
the love.
about us. Yeah.
Happiness and love.
Cheers. Bye.